Hey there, fellowship. Welcome to this week's episode. Before we get going, have you heard about Anchor by Spotify? Well, if you have an idea for a podcast and an audience that you think will listen, Anchor by Spotify is the right choice. You can record, you can edit, and you can distribute your podcast to all the major platforms all on your phone or your computer. Everything you need in one place. The Anchor app or Anchor.fm. So go to those places right now. Record your voice. We want to hear it. And welcome to this episode of the Pretty Neat Podcast. It's time for the Pretty Neat Podcast.
Another episode in the books.
Yeah, except I forgot to press record at the very beginning after we hopped off and came back. So I missed like the first couple of minutes talking about your sobriety streak ending. But I can record it now. Hey, welcome to the Pretty Neat Podcast, everybody. I'm Aaron, one of your hosts, here every week to talk about UFC and other pretty neat things with my homies, Dom and Ryan, who are right over there. We just finished recording the episode and putting this back in at the beginning. So the wonders of editing. Am I right? Am I right?
Am I right?
Thank you, Ryan.
I have this one, by the way.
What do you got? Stone IPA?
Oh, yeah.
I'm drinking a Carlsberg.
Okay.
It's a Danish-style Pilsner.
I know what it is.
They refer to themselves as probably the best beer in the world.
Mm.
And the story why I was telling the story of going to the Kings game is that when we leave for any extended period of time, somebody has to come over and watch our dogs because they can't really be alone in the house for, let's say, more than 3-4 hours without fear of something being irreparably damaged.
Got it.
When that happens, games, appointments, Disneyland, the Lindroth family, which live conveniently just a couple of miles away and are also retired, are solicited upon to dog sit, right? With the caveat of, hey, we have literally every streaming service known to man. It is yours. And it's usually the immortal Cliff who comes over. His one requirement is there better be beer for me in the fridge in the garage.
This sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Not the fridge in the kitchen.
No, because beer doesn't go in there.
That's right.
Yeah. That's not where the beer goes. It goes in the fridge in the garage where it's literally all beverages.
I'm glad we're all patriots on the podcast because that is a patriotic move, sir.
Yeah. So
there also has to be meat in your garage freezer.
I have meat in every freezer.
There is meat in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
There's also dog food, like actual like food that you then thaw out and it's like an actual meal. It's insane. Like it's actually you can see the green beans and the carrots and chicken and stuff in there. Dogs are spoiled anyway. So I normally get Cliff. The go-to is Coors Original, the banquet beer. He prefers them to be in bottles, but they don't have the long neck bottles anymore. They're doing more of like the grenade style. So he usually ends up in cans, but he is a big, big fan of Carlsberg. And the last couple of times I was like, I really want to treat Cliff for all that he's doing for us. And they just didn't have it at Bevmo. So I switched it up and I went to Total Wine and More, and lo and behold, hey, they have a shitload of it.
Which is far superior to Bevo in every way.
I tend to agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I got
It's not an opinion. It is a known fact.
I got
you guys will love Specs when you come out to Texas to visit.
Specs?
I'm pretty sure. Is there Specs in Arizona?
There very well may be. There's Specs, and then there's another one like Total Wine and More that's very good out here. Which you guys should come out here for UFC San Antonio. Why not?
We definitely shouldn't do that. Keep up with your story, Ryan.
So So we leave the house at 4:30, get to my parents' house because it was a belated Christmas gift where I normally take them to a hockey game, and it ends up coinciding with Star Wars night.
You took the in-laws, you're saying?
No, I took my family.
You're okay, got it.
Yeah. So my parents and my sister. And Cliff's like, yeah, I'll be there at 5:30. And then I just get this text on the way over there. He's like, thank you for the Carlsberg. And I'm like, you are welcome. You enjoy. Help yourself. And they come in pints.
Yes.
Well, it comes in pints?
Which is fantastic.
What's that? This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints? Oh. I'm getting one. You got a whole half already?
It comes in pints.
My Stone IPA is like the 19-ounce can that they do.
Which I'm also a fan of. Like, you can go to Barron's and pick up a couple of those 19 ounces.
Oh, yeah, you can. Oh, yeah, you can.
Get yourself a variety pack of your
That's
own.
That's what I'm talking about.
So we get there. We have a good time. I sent you guys a picture of where we're sitting in the.
Hell yeah.
Fun fact about crypto.com. The premier section and all the suites do not prescribe to any type of like ticket packs or anything related to the teams themselves. Those sections are owned by the arena.
Yeah. So they sell the what do they call them? PSLs, personal seat licenses.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So there was a little bit of a snafu, a little bit of a uproar, because they were handing out for people that bought specific ticket packs on Star Wars night, Grogu, geeky tiki mugs, and instead of him holding like this little biscuit like he normally does, it was a LA Kings hockey puck.
Do you have one? Can we see it?
Well, here's the thing.
Oh no.
I bought tickets in the premiere section, which are not beholden to all of the quote unquote like themed nights.
Okay.
Within the arena. And my wife, who has many amazing qualities, but has like this sixth sense that, hey, Ryan didn't do something correctly. I better check on this.
Which is not one of her good qualities, is what you're saying?
No, one of her amazing qualities. She has an innate ability to detect when I've done something incorrectly. And a week prior, she goes, hey, can you check your tickets and make sure that they're the ticket packs? And I'm like, it doesn't say. You get them through Access Tickets, and then it's all digital. So she's like, well, I'm going to find out. And she went through the link, and it's not clear. She ended up calling crypto.com. They didn't get back to her for a few days because the Grammys were being held. Mm-hmm. And they told her she had to call the Kings directly. She calls them, gets me set up with a ticket concierge, whatever the case may be. And she's like, well, they're not part of the ticket packs, but I can sell you the tickets, and they're in these sections, and all the cheap seats were done. So we have all the tickets in section 100, which are, roughly $300 a ticket, which is about twice what I paid for the other tickets. And I'm like, well, then do I get refunded for my original ticket? She's like, you'd have to sell them.
Okay.
And it's not a guarantee that they're going to sell. So, but I can waive all the convenience and charges and whatnot. I was like, that's very kind of you, but I'm not looking to reinvest this money without a guarantee that I'm getting my money back for the prior tickets. So no Grogu.
Oh no.
Bug. Mm-hmm. And while that was a bit of a disappointment, after explaining that to Ashley that, hey, this is the investment we have for the tickets, the 5 that I bought, that we would have to sell potentially at a loss with no guarantee to get that money back, and then upfront reinvest twice as much so that we can get a tiki mug. Or we can go and find it on eBay afterwards, and then I will just pay an extra 10% to have one. So that's
or maybe buy a Honda Civic at that rate. Yeah.
I even went so far as to ask one of my coworkers that I know fairly well, who's a season ticket holder. I said, hey, I know that you're going to want this, but anybody in your section that's sitting there that is not too keen on these tickets or this mug, let me know and I'll buy it from him. And then he's like, hey,
Nice.
we haven't talked in a while. I moved to Hawaii. Oh, well, mahalo. And he's like, I got rid of my tickets. However, I still have like, this Meet the Kings interaction tickets available. Do you want those? I was like, we'll talk later. But anyway, enjoy your life in Hawaii. Anyway, it was a great game. It was a lot of fun.
Did they win?
They did win. Here's the thing. Good. The Kings are commonly referred to in my family as the cardiac Kings because they never make anything easy. And after the first period, it was 5-1 Kings. At the end of regulation, it was 5-5. And then we played a full regular season overtime period, which is 5 minutes, and then shootout. So we didn't leave until after 11, didn't get home until 12:30, closer to 1. Then I had to drive my my inebriated father-in-law home. Again, Carlsberg beer, shout out. And then
we're looking for new sponsors.
Yeah, no free shout outs, but that really wasn't a free shout out. Cliff paid dearly.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Got home, got up early because it's when you're of a certain age, right? It's hard to sleep past what your normal circadian rhythm is. Did the whole normal routine. My wife takes a nap, wakes up, and she remembers, we have to go over to the Lindros because it's her brother's birthday party. And by the way, we don't have a gift for him. And we need to do that first and foremost. But anyway, it was a fun-filled weekend. I am also back to 100%. I'm no longer attached to any medical paraphernalia, which is why I now have ended my 47-day streak of sobriety. It's great, feeling good.
Was that today or at the Kings game?
No, it was actually the day before on Friday.
Okay.
That Friday, I was like,
had to warm up first.
Yes.
I had 2 beers and I fell asleep on the couch. Because, wow.
That'll do it. I was at crypto.com arena for the Lakers on Wednesday.
Yes.
And there was actually what's next? Is it the Nokia or the Microsoft Center now? The Microsoft Arena.
Nokia. I'm not sure what it's called now.
There was a Kings festival going on.
Okay.
I don't know what that consists of, but
Kings Festival, Kings Fest 2023.
Microsoft, is it the Microsoft? Yeah, it's the Microsoft Theater. Yeah, Kings Fest 2023. Again, I don't know, but saw it, thought, I should take a picture and send that to Ryan. Didn't do that, and then went into crypto. So I don't think I had been to a Laker game in 7 years. D'Angelo Russell was on the team the first time, so that's how long ago it was. And
yeah, that's 6 years ago.
Honestly, a perfect game to go to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. No, I got to see LeBron. Wasn't totally clear until 35 minutes before tip-off that he was playing. And he did not come out with a team for warm-ups when they go to the layup line to start the game. And I look at my brother and I'm like, hey, what the fuck? And he's like, I don't know. They're tweeting that he's starting. And then we were sitting, I think section 218. And that happens to be right at the tunnel where the Lakers come onto the court. And we heard a swelling of noise. And every eye that could see into the tunnel was facing that direction. And here he comes, probably 3 minutes after the rest of the team. And it was interesting, instantaneously 20,000 sets of eyes going on one person. It was like that when Kobe was there, but obviously this is the first game LeBron had played since he broke the scoring record. So it was one step further even. It was pretty cool. I've been lucky enough to catch a lot of really great athletes live, and he's kind of the one that short of Tiger Woods, that I haven't, and it was nice to be able to check that off.
That brings up an interesting question, Dom. You've had the opportunity to witness many a live athlete performing what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a single most impressive performance you've witnessed in person by an athlete?
Yeah. It's not a fair answer because there was the game meant nothing.
That's fine because
But
the performance is its own individual performance, right?
yeah, so just last summer I saw Shohei Ohtani throw 7 innings with I think 1 run allowed, 12 strikeouts, and he also had, if I'm not mistaken, 2 doubles and a triple, and drive in like 5 or 6 runs against the team that would go on to win the World Series.
Damn.
He beat them by himself. That was pretty cool. I've been to a couple of near no hitters. I saw
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw in 2013-14 when he was on a streak of like 10 straight complete game shutouts or something nuts. Roy Halladay, the former Roy Halladay, who really is not a great pilot. That's a tasteless joke, but it is what it is. Just carve up the Angels one time. That was pretty cool. Kobe Bryant, now LeBron James, neither of them did anything necessarily spectacular, but I got to see them. So as far as like the best athlete I've seen in person now is LeBron, but the best performance I've seen was Ohtani pulling double duty like that, which was pretty cool.
I have the exact same question for Ryan.
I don't think I have anything super memorable in terms of individual or team performance. I've been to a lot of hockey games. I've seen a lot of great things. I've seen essentially almost every iteration of how those things can unfold, whether that's a penalty shot, right, which is a rare occurrence, but you see it a lot more now since they incorporated the shootouts, overtime fights, 5-on-3 power plays, 3-on-2s, depending on what the situation is. I mean, I've seen a lot, but in terms of memorable performances or things that were above and beyond what just the general scope of professional sports or a professional athlete, I can't think of anything. Why are you laughing?
Do you remember when we saw Bellator and we were at
no free shout outs?
No, I'll beep that shit if I remember. And we saw Melvin Gillard like pounding chicken or something.
He was in the fucking food court before the fight.
Before the fight.
Melvin Gillard, we're like, good, because he stands out because he's got the bleach blonde hair.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, that's Melvin Gillard.
And we're like eating
walking through the food court.
It's like the nastiest Chinese food. Like it's
nastiest. You know what?
You shouldn't eat it, but it's tasty.
I don't know if I've told Ryan this. I went to either, and forgive me for not remembering, game 1 or 2 of the 2007 Stanley Cup Finals when the Ducks played.
Oh, damn. Nice.
Unfortunately, I don't remember it all that well. Not because I was inebriated or anything. I was kind of at a place in my life where I really maybe shouldn't have been there, if that makes sense.
I guess
I got I got tickets from like a guy I worked with who got them from a guy he knew who had got them from a guy he knew. It was like something weird like that. Like my brother one time bought Lakers playoff tickets when they played the Suns, I think in 2007, from a guy in an aisle at Stater Brothers or Albertsons. Like not a guy he knew, just a guy who had them and sold them to him on the spot. And
not shady at all. They
were like, hey, if you want to go, it's like $125. And I was like, I'll go to a Stanley Cup game. And like, I probably had $150 at the time. Like it was, yeah. It'd be different now, but
yeah.
That was still cool.
That's awesome. I have to answer my own question, I feel.
I was just going to ask you.
It has, I went to like 2 or 3 Laker games thanks to our former coworker, which was lovely. I believe in one of them they played the Golden State Warriors. I don't think Steph Curry played, so I don't think I got to see that.
If it was the same game I went to, it was he did, but he wasn't Steph Curry yet.
Yeah. Then it was the one because we definitely went to one together at least because we were in the same, the row that we were.
Oh yeah,
those bomb ass seats.
Yeah.
God damn.
That was a special thing. I don't want to talk about that individual on this show, but
Yeah, we don't have to, but yeah.
Later we'll have to tell Ryan who he was.
Yeah.
If you don't already know.
I don't.
It's one of those things you almost wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. But it's true.
But it is true.
And I've gone to a number of hockey games. But it jumped out when Ryan actually had said fights when he had gone to fights, because I don't know why I jumped to major sports too. But it has to be Joanna and Zhang Weili being in the same room when that fight happened. The first one, of course, with my dad, fight of the year. And I mean,
is that the hematoma fight?
That's the hematoma fight, yeah. And
now, could you reach out and touch her hematoma from your seats?
Oh, it was in the seat next to you.
Because you were in the arena.
Yeah, you're in the arena. It was in the seat next to you. But that was just insane to witness. And I mean, Israel Adesanya fought right after that, but it wasn't the performance of a lifetime, obviously, against Yoel Romero.
You still got to see him, though.
Yeah, still got to see him. And I mean, we all got to see Francis fight Cyril, which, I mean, maybe wasn't the best performance of Francis's career, but it was his penultimate one.
It was
very cool.
What's the one event you would like to go to that you haven't been to?
Sporting event?
You
know what? It's I would just frankly love to go to any sporting event with the two of you and members of the fellowship.
Okay.
Frankly, I've enjoyed myself at any event I've gone to. So I actually prefer the smaller events.
A fair point. It's hard to go to a live sporting event and not have a good time.
Yeah.
Ryan, what about you?
Fuck it.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never really had a bad time. I mean, you do have the unknown of the people that are sitting around you that are not friends and family, which can be a bit annoying, which I recently experienced.
Yeah.
And I'm totally omitting all the years that I was a Charger season ticket holder because not a whole lot great. There's not a whole lot of good, remarkable things that happened at that time.
Well, LaDainian Tomlinson, right?
Yes. I mean, outside of him and what he was able to do in that season that he set the record for most touchdowns in a season and just his ability to watch him play when he was in his prime. That was fantastic. But what was the question?
Just if you one kind of major sporting event you haven't been to that you'd like to go to.
Ooh, I actually do have an answer. I would like to go to Olympic, either Olympic level swimming. I just think that's insane, and diving, and perhaps Olympic weightlifting.
Okay,
that would be dope. Or wrestling, of course. I'd love to go to see wrestling or boxing.
Okay,
but I would love to attend an Olympics and kind of transition between sports. I think that'd be cool.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, and I feel like that might happen in our lifetime.
They're again. Here in 28. Yeah,
is it 28
in Los Angeles?
Yeah. Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, that's not too far away. 5 years. That's enough time to plan.
Yeah.
So, pretty
my
neat
answer,
podcast listeners. 5 years from now, we'll see you at the Olympics.
The Olympics is a good one. Super cliche for me. Otherwise, though, Super Bowl would be awesome. Boxing heavyweight title fight, if it's something like Wilder Fury, would be awesome. Yeah. And then, of course, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and of
or
course,
did I say Super Bowl? I'm sorry, World Cup finale, and the Super Bowl.
Yeah, World Cup.
Those two would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I certainly want to just digest as many live combat sports as I can. Every opportunity I can. Which is gonna transition right into. I think I sent you guys a picture of this dope card. Alex Volkanovski, 24 of 49. Matt Relic, UFC 266 when he beat Ortega. But holy balls, this card is shipping out to Hawaii. And if you listen to the podcast, shout out to the Bullet fan. Look at this beauty. On card piece of this.
She would beat the shit out of Erin Blanchflied. I'm just gonna say it.
Valentina Shevchenko. Yeah. Well, let's get into that. Holy shit. Erin Blanchfield had her way with Jessica Andrade. I was more impressed than I was expecting to be.
Do you think that was maybe a function of Andrade having fought so recently?
I hadn't
I'm sure
considered
that's
it
a
till
factor.
now.
Erin Blanchfield's pretty fucking good, though.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I didn't watch it live because I was at the Kings game. I watched it the following day, and Andrade was doing her thing on the stand up. It was just
she clipped her a couple times.
It was surprising that Blanchfield took that type of damage and was somewhat unfazed. There in the first round, there were some good trades there. I thought Andrade was overly aggressive. That barrage where she was just like kind of she wasn't walking her down, but she was charging forward and just like throwing like hooks left and right.
Yeah.
Really undisciplined.
That's kind of her. That's kind of her.
Is that just her thing? Am I discounting Andrade here?
No, you're not. Here, and I don't want to take anything away from Blanchfield, but I'm going to say this. Now, with all due respect, I'm not a professional athlete, and I'm not 5'1", 124.
No.
But yesterday I did like 25 minutes of pretty strenuous mobility stretching and like body weight stuff. And then I went to the driving range and hit about 100, 110 golf balls. I came home, stretched out a little bit again, wrote a paper or part of a paper, ate some steak, read a book, went to bed. About 10:15 this morning, my back goes, hey, what if I seized up right now? And I said, please don't do that. I'm on my feet all day, walking across a very large campus back and forth all day. I really can't have this right now. And it went, that's really fun. Watch me seize up top to bottom. Then I went out to freshman baseball practice where I am assistant coaching. And I tried to throw a ball to a kid. And my back went, well, now what you're doing is now you're just tempting me. Good luck getting in the car to drive home. Good thing you have a mid-sized SUV and not a low-to-the-ground car, because you couldn't get in that if you did. So, about 3.5 weeks before this fight, Jessica Andrade was in a literal 15-minute fist fight with another professional athlete. I don't see how that couldn't have affected her to some degree. I just don't. Maybe she loses anyway. I don't know. And obviously me hitting a bunch of golf balls, and I have this thing where like I'll hit one and I'll get like near the back of the range and I'm like, all right, well the next 12 have to go out there, and I start to swing too hard. Like I'm my golf swing is a literal disaster. It's not the same. I'm just saying that you get to a certain age and that recovery is not as easy as it used to be. And she's 31,
Yeah. I think also though she came off the fight with Lauren Murphy. She put in 15 minutes of hard heavy bag work on Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean she definitely put it in. But that is a totally different war than Erin Blanchfield.
Are you saying that my story about my back and the driving range is not the same as the UFC fight?
Constant vigilance, Tom.
Constant vigilance.
I thought it was an entertaining fight. I'm glad to see number 10 next to Blanchfield's name, which is cool.
Is that too low?
That was where she was coming into the fight.
Is
right?
it?
I don't even. Oh no, she's 3 now. That's
okay.
about right.
Yeah.
So 3 makes way more sense, because rumor mill is she's going to get the winner of.
Well, that's what she asked for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, flyweight. So that'd be.
Can
Valentina.
we call Valentina? Can we call her Chevy or no?
Chevy? No.
Chevy Chanks.
Ooh, okay.
Valley Shens.
Valley Shens might be better.
Chevy Chanks sounds like
Valley
Chevy
Chev.
face.
I know, and you know what? I didn't even mean for it to.
Chevy Shanks.
Chevy Shanks.
No, she's
There's
the
something
bullet.
in there. The Bullet is a stupid nickname.
Really? You don't think
Yes.
she? What else would her name be?
I don't. Here's the thing. I only know good nicknames when I see them. I can't give them to people.
I think her nickname should have been Day Massacre.
Two very different skill sets.
Valentina
Day
Massacre Shevchenko.
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Because you have to put it in between the names.
Yeah. Remember when I asked Max Griffin where Max Payne came from?
Yeah.
And I didn't mean it the way it 100% sounded. I meant it like, did you give it to yourself or did a PR guy give it to you? And he was like, well, Max Payne. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I meant at all.
Hey, shout out, Max. Come on the
yourself-
podcast again.
Shout out to Max.
You can't give yourself a nickname.
No.
That's not the etiquette.
I think some people can.
No. Those people are not, they don't qualify. They're not.
Okay, so then do you think Kobe Bryant gave himself the Black Mamba?
I don't know.
Do you know the story with that?
Tell me.
So they asked him what animal his game most resembled.
And he said it resembles a black mamba.
And he said it resembles a black mamba because that's the only snake that can strike multiple times in a row without getting tired.
Huh.
And people, I could have that story wrong, but if I do have it wrong, I'm not interested. I want this version of it. So
this one's better.
I'm interested in the real one. If anyone knows it, hit the mailbag.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is, or it's very close to that. And the point is, people then were like, oh, he gave himself his own nickname. No, he didn't. You asked him. And then, I don't know, he did make a ton of money selling Mamba mentality stuff and like Mamba Academy. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's very interesting.
He's allowed to do it.
My nickname should have been a boxing coach. I think that would have been perfect for me.
Erin should have been a boxing coach.
Hand worker.
Worker.
Okay.
Exactly. So
he introduced the idea. It's an alter ego of the Black Mamba.
Okay.
Inspired by the codename of an assassin in the cult favorite film Kill Bill by Quentin Tarantino.
Okay,
Bryant
you know
sought
what?
to not only reinvent himself, but create a means of deflecting the intense backlash that he had begun to face.
All right. I don't know where my version of that story came from.
Your version's better. I do like it.
I don't think it is. I've never actually seen Kill Bill. So
You've never seen Kill Bill?
No, I haven't.
The things you learn on the Pretty Neat podcast. I recommend it.
I am a big Tarantino fan. So
how can you say you're a big
you're
Tarantino
not.
fan? That movie came out 15 years ago.
Clearly,
I've
that's
seen
a lie.
everything else he's made except Jackie Brown and Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill.
And Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2.
I haven't seen either of those, but I believe I've seen everything else.
Uh-huh.
Watch those.
So you haven't seen his very first movie that he made, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, because people who are super into Reservoir Dogs piss me off. That's why.
I get that.
Dude, put the people aside and just watch the fucking film.
Yeah, that's what I did when I got around to Pulp Fiction. And do you know what I thought when that movie ended?
Not his best work.
I thought that was cool, but I don't understand why everybody loves it so much.
You're gonna like Kill Bill and Kill Bill Volume 2, though. They're great.
Is it Uma Thurman? I'm into her.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah, and she's awesome in it. It's
It's peak Uma.
What did you
Uma.
guys think? Is it the Hateful Eight?
Hateful Eight was good.
Ashley really likes. I'm just middle.
Really? I thought it was fantastic.
I think the dialogue is really good. Kurt Russell is fantastic.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably the strongest. The strongest point of that movie.
I would agree.
But I think it's middling.
What about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Great.
It's okay.
I thought
just okay.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I thought that movie was a masterpiece. I really did.
So the
I
first
thought it was
time you
great.
watch it is the best time you'll ever see it because the alternate ending from like what actually transpired. I'm like, this is a fucking amazing.
Yes.
And then on a rewatch, you appreciate some other things like the Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
The Bruce Lee situation is
fantastic.
Like, all time.
Gosh.
Like that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Where he just catches the kick and throws him into the car door.
And that actor was so perfect as well.
Yes. Yes.
I have only seen it the one time, and it was like a nice date night with the wife, and we went and saw it the opening weekend. It was a good time, and I don't feel like I need to go back to it. And so hearing you say like it's kind of a one timer for a different reason, I think that's good to know.
Yeah, there's a twist.
Because if you know it's coming, the landing maybe doesn't stick as hard.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're going to really enjoy Kill Bill and Kill Bill Volume 2, and I expect a full report.
I'll let you guys know when we go to the Olympics in 2028, because that's probably how long it will take me to watch those. Just fair warning.
That one, upon a rewatch, Kill Bill is great. That I mean, Quentin Tarantino is big on a twist. There's a twist in there.
Okay.
In the second volume, however, the action within both is fantastic.
So let me ask you guys this. So I have a coworker who he's not into Marvel movies, but his like 11-year-old suddenly is. And so he texted me the other day, or I don't know, it was maybe like a month ago, or maybe during Christmas time. He's like, "Hey, the new Thor is really good." And I'm like, "Oh, did you see the 3 leading up to it?" And he goes, "No." And I'm like, "Okay." And so then like over the course of the last couple months, I've tried to gently explain, like, this is not something, if you're going to do it, you got to do it in timeline order. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, none of it will make any sense. He's like, "No, I mean, Thor was fun." I'm like, no, you're right. It's fun. But the whole part in the beginning where he's with this other team of people, if you don't see the hours and hours leading up to how that got there. And he goes, "Okay." So then last weekend, he watches the first Ant-Man. Loves it. And I'm like, awesome. If you're into Ant-Man, you're going to love the rest of this shit. I think Ant-Man's good, but... Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Okay." So then Sunday night, maybe, he's texting me. He's like, "Hey, I'm watching Ant-Man 2. When the fuck did he go to Germany?" And I'm like, "Okay, remember when I explained to you?" And he goes, "Yeah. So I read that you have to watch Civil War first, but now I don't know any of the people in Civil War." I'm like, I know that. I know that you don't. And I told you that you wouldn't. And you have to go to the beginning.
There's 30 fucking movies.
There's literally like 40 entries in the MCU. You could skip some of the stuff. Like Disney Plus actually gives a timeline order that is pretty close to perfect.
Mm-hmm. They put it out.
They have Ant-Man 2 and Infinity War flipped, I think, but otherwise, it's totally fine. I'm like, you can skip the one shots. You could even skip the series if you want. Although I highly recommend WandaVision.
Ant-Man 2 is before Infinity War in the timeline.
But it's not supposed to be, because the end of Ant-Man 2 is the snap after the credits.
So then you would argue that it's almost simultaneously happening?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think the post credits of Ant-Man 2 would make more sense.
Yeah.
If you've seen Infinity War, and I don't think you need to have seen any of Ant-Man 2 to understand Infinity War.
In terms of cinematic release, Ant-Man and the Wasp did get released after Infinity War.
Yeah.
So I remember going to see that in the theater, like, well, nothing's really going to live up to this last movie. And we were right.
It's true. I've heard mixed things on the new one. I'm very excited to see it.
Well, the thing is, so we know they've introduced King the Conqueror. MODOK is in there. Like, good luck jumping in now. Like, you gotta know so much other stuff.
Did you watch Loki?
To be done.
Yeah, you have to watch Loki. You have to. Have to at least be aware.
And he goes. So WandaVision, that's a show, and I'm like, yeah. And he goes, but her name is Wanda. I'm like, right. And he goes, but is it her vision? And I'm like, actually, yes, but also Vision is a character. And she's like, he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, I can't.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, take my advanced placement MCU course that I'm teaching next year, and we'll get through it. But until then, you know.
Yeah.
He goes, so wait, it is her vision. I'm like, in a literal sense, yes. And even saying that, you won't understand any of it until like episode 4. And he's like, but who is Vision? I'm like, I don't know how to explain to you who Vision is if you haven't seen all of it leading up to this.
Like, go on YouTube and type in everything you need to know before seeing, and then type in the movie.
I didn't tell him to do that because you're cheating yourself out of so
ruining
much
it.
stuff. Yeah.
It's ruining it, but he's ruining it for you by pestering you for all this shit.
I'm not explaining any of it to him because I insist that he has to do it the right way. Like
Good.
I thought Civil War was a really good movie. You have to earn it by watching all the other stuff first. Not that all of it is bad, but not all of it is great. The first Captain America is certainly the weakest, but you have to start there. I thought Captain Marvel was an atrocity, but you got to understand all of the stuff to get to that point.
Yeah, you do. You have to understand it at least. It's all built on context.
I made a joke to a kid the other day that I was teaching an advanced placement Star Wars class next year. He goes, "Wait, is that a real thing?" And I was like, sadly, no.
College.
Sadly, no, but it should be.
You got to go to college. Then it is.
So anyway, the point is I should not watch Kill Bill 2 before Kill Bill 1 is what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. That's 100% correct.
Yeah. Oh, what is this? Episode 6 of House of the Dragon, having seen none of Game of Thrones, not being familiar with the books or the first 5 episodes of this show. All right, cool. Like, what are you doing? All right, cool. Order of the Phoenix. Let's get started. Like, what?
Or like you see a big fight coming up, like Jones versus Gone, and like you're all amped on it, and somebody's like, "Yeah, I don't get it."
Well, it's funny you say that.
The rest of it.
You know what? It's actually so funny you say that because I was trying to explain Cyril Gone to my brother, and he's like, "I don't. What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Okay, what I need you to do is watch his fight with Tai Tuivasa and with Derek Lewis. That will teach you." And is it Volkov or Volkan? No, not Volkanovski. Volkov, right?
It's just anybody
that will tell you everything you need to know about him. Then watch his fight with Francis. Then you can, because he knows John Jones. And then I had a kid today, out of literally nowhere, goes, "Hey, Tassone, Khabib or Conor?" And I'm like, or Khabib Nurmagomedov or Conor McGregor? And I'm like, do you listen to the Pretty Neat podcast? And also, you're 5 years too late. What do you mean? He goes, "I don't know. I saw it on TikTok. Who do you think's better?" And I'm like, who do you think is better is not the right question. And he goes, "What do you mean?" I'm like, well, I don't really know how to tell you what I mean because it's pretty clear you don't understand a word of what you're saying. But, you know. The point is, do your homework on stuff.
And that the youth of America observing TikTok are currently 5 years behind on MMA relevance.
Well, I don't do TikTok, but I don't know if either of you do, but I don't know if there's like a Conor Khabib thing going around or something. You know,
I don't know, and I really hope not.
I also hope not. Did you guys see? Speaking of, Ryan Bader is on Michael Chandler's coaching team.
Oh, really?
Oh, he is for the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh shit!
Interesting.
I was just looking at that as Aaron signed on.
As like his cool. Wrestling coach?
No, he has a different guy as his wrestling coach.
Well, then what the fuck is Ryan doing there?
Heavyweights.
He's just going to be there for heavyweights?
I mean...
Is that a heavyweight season? Because I guess that would make sense. Get some bigger coaches in there to help you out.
Let's see. Where did I just see it?
But I didn't know. I don't know if they announced the weight classes yet. That's pretty cool. Connor, like the only thing I want to see from him now is tough. Like I'm pretty stoked on that. Hell of a recap. That just goes to show how exciting the rest of the fights were last Saturday. I mean, there was some interesting fights, but nothing really jumped out at me outside of, I mean, nothing was really.
Greg Jones is the
nothing crazy really happened. Like Felipe Lenz looked great against OSP, and AJ Fletcher looked fantastic. And Clayton Carpenter.
He's really self-conscious about his short arms. AJ Fletcher is.
That's weird, isn't it?
What does that mean?
So in every fight that he's had at welterweight, he's had a pretty significant reach disadvantage. And in this fight that he won by submission, there was a 10-inch reach disparity between AJ Fletcher and Themba Gorimbo.
Damn.
10 inches.
Well, Themba is first team all body. It's probably Temba, right?
Yeah. Probably.
does Fletcher have short arms?
He does.
Is he like skinny knees Teddy Bridgewater? What are we?
Yeah, he does have shorter arms.
That's a deep cut quarterback joke for you guys.
But I mean, like, Chandler doesn't exactly have crazy long arms.
You know what? Don't you speak of my angel that way, okay? Just for the record, although I did almost buy a bottle of Proper 12 the other day because it was for some reason $14.50.
Yeah, in this one we did have to talk about, though.
I have decided I am on Team Chandler for this tough because Michael Chandler doesn't cheat the game. And I kind of think, not that I hate someone for cheating the game, but Chandler is going to, he doesn't cheat the game, and Conor kind of does. I don't blame him, but he does.
I would agree with that. Chandler's consistent in what he's bringing every single fight, where Conor needs something to keep him motivated. Otherwise, right, he's going to do Conor shit.
Yeah. And I love Conor. I do.
I think Chandler will get under his skin.
Michael Chandler is eminently more likable than Conor McGregor in literally every way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm very curious how the up-and-coming
also, Chandler's wife is a smoke show.
Fair enough. There was one other fight on here that I definitely wanted to talk about, just because I feel like it deserves to talk about, is Evan Elder versus Nazim Sadikov. Mm-hmm. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is it was ended at doctor's stoppage because of a nasty cut that opened.
It was a pretty bad cut.
So bad. Like, his fucking eyebrow was falling into his eye. It was gross. Mm-hmm. But Evan was kicking Nazim's ass for 2 rounds and 38 seconds up until that doctor's stoppage. And I feel so bad for Evan. And I think the UFC will do good by him because Nazim looked like shit in victory. Like,
then you don't know that this got awarded Fight of the Night, and he got a bonus for that.
Oh, he did?
$50K. Yeah,
it says it on the screen.
Night.
It's right there. I didn't know.
It doesn't say interim belt, so Aaron doesn't care.
I'm so glad. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, everything else was just kind of meh. Like Zach
all
Pauga,
decisions until the main event on the on the main card.
And Zach Pauga and Jamal Pogues were coming off of Tough, the Nunes and Pena season.
Yep.
And they both looked much more fit than they did on the show, in my opinion. Like, they really looked like
Pauga made it to 205.
Yeah, he went down. That's his natural weight class, where he is undefeated as a professional.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, this card was dog shit.
Now, to that end, Jordan Wright landed 199 total strikes to Pauga's 85, and somehow Pauga, although only 29 of them were significant. Anyway, if you did not see Zach Pauga or Jamal Pogues fight on this card or on Tough, that's because no one did. Because no one cares, and neither of them is a factor in any way.
That may be true in the grand scheme of things.
Are you maybe true?
No, he's probably true.
Put Jamal Pogues in there with John Jones. Let me know how that goes for him.
He was in the featured bout on a fight night.
I'm surprised he won this.
Zach Pauga was in the co-main. Like, let's not polish this shirt.
A fight night headlined by 2 women's flyweights not named Valentina Shevchenko. So,
yeah, they did what they did.
They did what they did.
And now it's time for the Pretty Neat Podcast picks.
Let's make some picks.
So there is a name on this coming fight night, Krylov and Spann, that immediately jumped out at me, and you both better know what it is.
Dontel Mays?
Tatiana Suarez.
Not Dontel Mays. It's Tatiana. I mean, he is on my 90s R&B group. But Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah.
Of course.
And she's getting a can in her first fight back.
This is literal like appointment television for me on Saturday, just so you guys know. She's also a minus 700 favorite.
She hasn't fought in 4 years. She's a minus 750 favorite.
Can I ask why either of you think this is not the co-main event? Like, because to me, this is awesome. Like this is the reason to watch the card. But maybe it's just because of weight classes. It has to be.
It probably, right?
Because the next three fights that are on this main card are bangers. Like, but damn, that I'm so friggin' excited for Tatiana Suarez comeback. Has it been since
4 years?
Yeah,
It's been
June of
4
2019.
Who did she fight?
Nina Nunes.
Oh yeah, that's right. And she destroyed me. She's 9-0.
She also beat Carla Esparza and Alexa Grasso. That
Yeah,
That was at 115. She's coming up a weight class.
that is not nothing. So,
Mm-mm.
because isn't Grasso fighting for the title?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, that is crazy.
So intense. And I mean, if she dominates Montana De La Rosa, which she likely will, this should look like when Diego Sanchez had that late run where he would just get on top of people, just straight ground and pound. That's what I expect from Tatiana Suarez. Swarm and ground and pound.
Let me ask you this: the old club and sub.
I don't think she's gonna have to sub. It's gonna be a club and club and club and club.
What's
I think it'll be
what's the
TKO.
swarm ground and pound sandwich?
I don't know.
Me either.
Swarm and harm.
Is some shawarma?
Oh, I love shawarma.
Is that heap and helping a shawarma?
Yep.
Okay.
Tatiana's bringing some shawarma on Saturday. That's for
Now,
sure.
is Tatiana Suarez what weight class is this? Flyweight? Flyweight?
Yeah.
Flyweight.
Is she the flyweight champion by the end of this calendar year?
No.
Is she the flyweight champion by next July of 24?
No. I think she'll get hurt.
Oh, we got a yes. I'm into it. What are the odds? Can I get a she will be the title holder by International Fight Week next year?
Yeah, I'm into it. I mean,
I could see
she was
it.
already on a track to do that. Now, here's the only caveat, and I mentioned this earlier. Before she had the run of injuries that she's had, she was fighting at a weight class down. She's coming up and fighting at 125 now.
Sure.
So she was really physically dominating at 115.
True.
Like, nightmare.
She was huge against Carla.
But at 125, she's 5'6", which, the height and range of female fighters can wildly vary.
Yes, it can.
So I'm not sure how important that is, but it is something to note.
Definitely.
She is at a height disadvantage here. What is the reach? Can we get an expansion on that?
Yeah. Also, I think Tatiana wins this fight and they make her fight Blanchfield.
No. Those are two prospects. You can't have two like rising prospects fight each other and then you derail one's progress.
Interesting argument.
See,
but
I don't
do
know
think
if
that
they
they
gotta
feed
keep 'em
one. I
warm.
think they feed one of them to Manon.
Ooh, yeah, I could see that. And you know what?
You
I
think
could
Manon beats one of them?
no.
No, I'm just saying I don't think Manon she lost a little steam in her last fight, which is a big step up in competition.
Mm-hmm.
And she hasn't been finishing fights.
Yeah.
So okay,
That's
let's feed her to two like really strong grapplers,
yeah.
which both of them are Erin and Tatiana.
Yes, I think that's a real problem for Manon.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think it's Tatiana. I think if Tatiana wins this, that Manon would be the next. That makes sense.
I think Manon.
Manon has a bigger name in the UFC.
I think if
right
Tatiana wins, she fights Manon.
Yeah.
And then the winner of that gets a shot at the belt, which will be Valentina Shevchenko.
now. Potentially, yeah.
Or Erin Blanchfield.
I think.
You think Blanchfield can beat her?
I think they're gonna give her
It's
the
not
shot.
impossible.
I think
Okay.
they're gonna give her the call out. I think Valentina will beat Grasso and Blanchfield will have the next shot, unless Valentina's gonna move up to challenge Amanda.
That could happen as well.
And if that
Interim.
happens, Tatiana
Your
versus
favorite,
Erin would be awesome for an interim belt.
Tatiana versus Erin for the interim. Got it.
Heck yeah.
That
So
okay.
Flyweight's got Talia Santos then Manon at number 2, then Erin Blanchfield. Now, Jessica Andrade, right? She's represented in both strawweight and flyweight, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So who does Tatiana fight
next?
All right,
Manon.
so where she fights Manon, she goes all the way up to fight number 2?
No.
Probably.
Yeah, I do. I think so.
Or Miranda Maverick.
They did
or
it
Macy
with Erin.
Barber. Yeah, I guess there's a few.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
So Macy's younger.
But yeah, to Aaron's point, Aaron went from Meatball Molly to, whatever Andrade was ranked, 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the original plan. She was going to fight.
That is true.
She was going to fight. Well, she was going to fight Talia Santos, who was number 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Damn.
okay. I mean, it's.
So she took it a step down, kind of.
I think this is one of those divisions where from champ, well, outside of champion, I should say, from like 1 to literally 15, like.
Yeah, you could
whatever.
swap places.
Yeah.
You could swap places for a multitude of them. Like Katie Chooks, right? Lauren Murphy, they're just there because they're mainstays in that division.
Because somebody has to be there. Yeah.
Because they're not that they're not supremely talented, but in terms of the competition for the upper echelon of the division,
Mhm.
they've already proven that they can't beat them.
Yeah. Yeah. But they can
Yes.
beat virtually anyone else. Other fun fights on this card. Rafael Alves, he's entertaining. He looks so much like Alex Oliveira that it's really kind of bothering me, actually.
There's really not that many fun fights on this card.
Ode Osborne is entertaining if he gets his wits about him, for sure. But Charles
Okay.
Johnson is a very tough customer for Ode. I could see why Charles is the favorite here. Ode's very flashy, so if he wins, it'll be spectacular. But I don't know if he's going to be able to pass through Charles, because Charles is one of those guys who's just super firm on the basics.
So let's talk for a moment about Victor Martinez and Jordan Levitt.
Yeah, the Monkey King.
Victor Martinez's picture, give me an expand there.
Yeah.
His body looks like a guy who's sucking down from 290 to 265. What the fuck is that, Victor Martinez?
Yeah, this is very strange that this is going to be at 145. 155.
How is he the favorite in this fight?
He's the favorite?
Victor
minus
Martinez?
115.
No way.
If Victor Martinez is the favorite, it has to just be that he's bringing some fat boy strength with him.
He
that
has not
lingered.
fought since the Contender Series in September of 21.
Oh shit! So he must have dropped a
So
bunch of
what
weight.
is the deal here? So ESPN has Victor Martinez at minus 115, Jordan Levitt at minus 105. The UFC's website does not have odds. This is weird.
It might be
I
that
would-
even.
I don't give very much good gambling advice, and you should not take it, but do not bet on this fight.
Yeah, don't bet on this fight. But I have strong hopes for Jordan Levitt. I'm a Jordan Levitt fan. I like the Monkey King.
Yeah,
Oh.
Patty subbed him, so I don't think he's that good.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good fighter, not the best. He's got great taste in movies because The Forbidden Kingdom is awesome. Mike,
Well, I don't get it.
that's where the Monkey King comes from.
Oh, okay.
Good movie. Main card. Talk about some of these fights. Mike Mallet, Johan Lioness. Anything on these guys?
Nope. Don't know who they are.
Me either.
I
Well,
remember
Mike
Mike
Mallet
Mallet.
fought Mickey Gall.
yeah, he beat Mickey Gall, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
273.
Yeah.
Volkanovski, Korean Zombie. Weird.
I remember that.
Mike Proper Malat. Mallet?
Malott.
Or is it Malat? Like Mike
Malot.
Malat.
It might be Malo because he's
It's
French.
two T's, so it's probably not low. He's from Canada, so I don't like him.
Malat.
But also, Leoness is from Canada, too.
Do you like Mike? I like him a lot.
Also, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury are fighting on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
We
that's
can-
not on this card.
we can
but-
talk about that in a second.
Yeah. Then we get the women's flyweight bout: Tatiana Suarez, Montana De La
Definitely into that.
Rosa. Uh, Montana's on the list.
Is she?
I think so. Augusto Sakai, Dontel Mays.
Yes,
Oh
she
my
is on the
gosh.
list.
Heavyweights,
Also,
love it.
Dontel Mays is on the list.
Dontel Mays is on the list for sure. What can you say?
Lord Kong.
We're gonna get a knockout.
Lord Kong.
That's an awesome nickname.
We're gonna get a knockout in this fight.
I have him. I have him as King Kong.
ESPN
Really?
says Lord Kong.
UFC.com says King Kong Dontel Mays.
Huh. I like Lord Kong
His
better.
tattoo on his stomach says Lord Kong, so perhaps we have some incorrect information.
Look at that. Everyone should go on to
Lord
UFC.com
Kong.
to Dontel Mays and check that out. I got Sakai in this one.
Really?
I do, yeah.
Augusto?
I do. I think Augusto will get this done, and I think it will be a KO by
Augusto Sakai and Victor Martinez have the same body. Look at that.
They really do. Very
They're
comparable.
both in better shape than me, but that's not exactly something to hang your hat on. So
Augusto
I think
Sakai,
he's gotten himself in better shape as well.
that's exactly
late.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
In the last 3 appearances, he has looked fitter. He's looked sharper. I'm digging
Svelte, some may say. Looks svelte.
it. He's been looking svelte.
Svelte.
Welcome to the Pretty Yiddish podcast. Middleweights. Oh, come on now. Brendan Allen,
Brendan, not
Sup-
Brandon. Brendan.
Yep, totally my bad. Brendan Allen. Super exciting to watch. And Andre Muniz, the fucking bone breaker. I know that's not his nickname, but that's all I think about is him breaking bones because he's done it twice in the UFC.
Jacare all day breaking those
So
bones.
Brendan tapped friend of the show Sam Alvey.
Yes, he did.
And Andrew Muniz broke Jacare's heart.
I remember that so vividly.
Brendan has a chance of getting this done, but it's gonna have to be on the feet. And I don't know if that's gonna happen. Andre's a monster.
Yeah.
I'm picking Andre in this, probably sub. And I think it'll be a great takedown and a sub. No clubbing, just subbing. Main event is Ryan Spann, the awesome Superman tattoo on his chest, versus
Because nobody's ever gotten that tattoo before.
nobody at all. Stephen Peterson. That's his name, not Stephen Thompson.
Steven Peterson.
Yeah, doesn't he have the same thing?
You talking about Jeremy Stevens, who is the same guy?
No.
A lot of famous Stevens.
Look
Yeah,
at
he
that.
does have the same thing.
Look at that memory recall, Stephen Peterson. But his is way cooler because of the flames and the chain. Like,
Man, it's
Yeah.
like straight out of the
Yeah.
movie Ghost Rider.
Superman, known for flames and chains.
yes. Hey, and Ryan Superman Spann is fighting the first Ukrainian fighter in the UFC ever. Nikita Krylov. This is obviously not his first fight in the UFC, but that is a claim to fame of his. And another person who's gonna bring the shawarma. I'm super excited to see how Ryan Spann resists this type of fight.
Yeah, Nikita Krylov is going to beat him. So
You think so?
I believe so. Yeah.
yes, I do think so.
Ryan has the ability to one hit quit him, but I don't
Yes,
think
he
that's going to
does.
happen.
Fair. I think of Ryan Spann when he beat when Johnny Walker beat him. Because Ryan Spann kicked his ass for the whole fight, and then Johnny Walker got him at the end, right? He has a little bit of an issue pulling the trigger from time to time. And Nikita is going to be so much more aggressive than Johnny Walker was, and he's not going to be flashy. He's just going to be brawling. And I think Nikita's hungrier than Ryan Spann. So not only the higher ranking, I do think that he's just going to come in and annihilate. I don't see this going past 2.5 rounds. I really don't.
Okay.
It's 5 rounds, yeah? I would assume.
Yeah, it's a main event. It's 5
Yeah,
rounds.
main event.
Yeah. 2.5. I don't see it going further than that. Any additional thoughts on this weekend's card? Are we going to talk about Tommy Fury and Jake Paul?
Let's
Why
talk
not?
about that motherfucker.
I guess.
Didn't Tommy Fury bail on a conference today already?
I don't know. Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia are fighting on April 15th. That's a fun one. Ryan Garcia, it loves him some Ryan Garcia, and I think Tank is going to knock his fucking block off. So, for what that's worth.
There you
It'll
go.
be fun to see. I'm expecting Gervonta to serve some jail time for his guilty plea that he just recently put in.
It seems likely that could happen.
I recently understood it that he entered a guilty plea on all 4 counts without a plea agreement in place. So now he is subject to the applicable jail time.
He pled guilty to something to do with a hit and run, not to do with the alleged closed hand type slap, which is a quote from the police.
Yeah, that's a different incident as well, which we have to specify that did not happen in the same time of a hit and run accident.
So it's tough when next to the Gervonta Davis fight news is a link that says a timeline of all of Gervonta Davis's arrests. He has had trouble for the last almost 4 calendar years with the law, and likely before that when he was younger. It's very difficult. He is so tantalizingly talented, and I can forgive damn near anything, like whatever. Spousal / child abuse is something that I really, really struggle with, because I have like something of a soul. So
I thought you were about to say you're addicted to spousal and child abuse.
No, I'm sure not.
Like, I don't struggle with it at all. People that do it are totally written off in my book.
No, I mean, I struggle with forgiving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I struggle with forgiving it. And I don't, especially when you're someone who makes millions of dollars literally dealing out concussions with your hands.
Well, then we won't give him a platform anymore then. Let's talk about Tommy Fury.
I don't know, because he's got the platform whether we want him to or not, right?
We are.
So I don't think not talking about him helps anything. It's very tough. I normally, we make a big deal. I don't know if you guys have ever had Snoop Dogg's 19 Crimes wine.
No.
Okay. In the wine, for my money, 19 Crimes is one of the better, like, cheap wines you can get. And they have a Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart partnership with several of their wines. Recently, the Kroger brand got some backlash because they had a big, like, Snoop Dogg advertisement for it, and people were like, well, that's racist because it's Black History Month, you can't do that. The problem with that is there is Snoop Dogg 19 Crimes advertising in many grocery stores than there has been for years. So I really don't know, like, little things like that I feel like are stupid. The child abuse is, or not child abuse, the alleged spousal abuse or domestic violence is. Having said that, in about a week, we're going to spend a whole lot of time talking about John Jones. So I don't know. Anyway, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury.
Yeah. Is it even happening now? I don't even.
It seems that it's going to.
I was going to bring it up. I just didn't, because I know that Tommy Fury did not show up to whatever he was supposed to show up to today. And that was all I heard.
Isn't it? Yeah. Oh no, it's Tommy.
Yeah. Well,
He didn't show up to something. I don't know if it was today.
regardless of that, I think
Saudi Arabia.
I just
And
think,
it's at
is it?
11 in the morning. Okay.
I think Jake Paul's gonna win.
Yeah, probably.
And if he loses, I don't think he'll look bad losing. Like that's the thing, is I think he's kind of at a place where he'll still have an audience after this.
Jake Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fellas.
Another episode in the books.
Yeah, except I forgot to press record at the very beginning after we hopped off and came back. So I missed like the first couple of minutes talking about your sobriety streak ending. But I can record it now. Hey, welcome to the Pretty Neat Podcast, everybody. I'm Aaron, one of your hosts, here every week to talk about UFC and other pretty neat things with my homies, Dom and Ryan, who are right over there. We just finished recording the episode and putting this back in at the beginning. So the wonders of editing. Am I right? Am I right?
Am I right?
Thank you, Ryan.
Is that a Quentin Tarantino reference?
No,
I don't think so.
no.
Okay.
Also, I'm super, super tired. So, The Last of Us 2024.
Tatiana Suarez 2024.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you know why I love MMA so much? It's pretty neat. That is 100% true, but it's also because it brings us together. You know what? Violence really does bring people together. Yes, let's get